better for you. Claim it. Claim the victory today. Claim that it's going to turn around in your favor. Well, today's marriage tip, Maritza's marriage tip number 15, deals with those women who have either been single moms for a long time or have been single women for a long time. And it is this. Often, if we have been single women for a very, very long time, or single moms for a long time, what tends to happen is that we have taken on the role of a husband or soon-to-be husband, and that is not always obvious. Sometimes that can be unconscious. It's just something that has become part of you to the point where you don't realize that you can be moving him out of the equation. You can be making him feel like there's no need for him. And this is especially true. Well, it's true if you're a single woman, if you're a single mom for a long time. But the way it presents itself is different. Because, for instance, if you're a single mom, or if you have been a single mom and now you're either engaged or you're newly married, what can happen is that whenever your fiance or husband tries to reprimand your child, you are stepping in the way, or you are there's different forms of stepping in the way. It could be like speaking up and jumping in and protecting, feeling as though you have to protect your child from the person, and not because they're doing anything wrong, but because it's always just been you and that child, or you and your children. And so all of a sudden you have you are the helpmate, but you also have your head of your household coming in, and the positions, the roles have changed, and you are struggling with that because you haven't had that help. Especially if you've had a dad that wasn't present, or was barely present. Now all of a sudden there's a male figure in the home, and they are presenting male energy, and you don't know how to receive that. It feels very forceful at times in comparison to how you may mother and discipline, because men tend to discipline very different from women, and not saying in a physical way, but they can be more consistent and stern, whereas sometimes our children can over time wear us down. You know, they're like, no, I still have punishment. Can I please play my game? Can I please watch TV? Can I please go from my friend's house? Whatever. Can we please go to the mall, like you said? It could be anything. And I can speak for myself personally, over time it was just like, okay. Whereas with my husband, if he said you was on punishment for 2 weeks, you was on punishment for 2 weeks. And I'm not saying that's all women, but a lot of women have a hard time with that, because we have had to take on two roles. Even if you are more stern than the average woman would be, say when you say what you say stands, even in that you can still feel like don't be disciplining my kid. But when it comes to him taking on the financial responsibility, you don't have a problem with that, and that's not okay. So that's something that needs to be discussed in advance before the marriage, because that can be like something that tears a marriage apart. A man feeling as though that he has no value especially if that's important for him. Not all men see a woman that becomes his wife that already has children. Not all men see those children as stepchildren. Some men really take on that role and love those children, provide for those children, but also just feel that they have the right to discipline. In all respect, they do, whether it feels uncomfortable for you or not. And if you don't agree with that, that is something that you really have to discuss before the marriage to find out, are you guys on the same page? Because if not, like, y'all really need to consider where y'all are going, and if that's something he can deal with, or if it's something you can deal with. Because if he's saying, I'm the head, I am going to discipline the children in my household, and you're in the back of your head like, not gonna happen, there's gonna be problems. Now let's say you are a single woman, you don't have any children, but you are a single woman. You have become used to certain things. Like, ladies, let's keep it real. Like, I remember getting so used to having the other side of my bed for my books, like the books I was reading, or my journaling, or whatever. You know, like, I just got used to spreading out and not having to share a bed, something as simple as that. So I can only imagine, like, a woman, like, imagine not having, like, being in a place where you were a single woman and you made decisions for yourself. You traveled, like the way that you would decorate in your house, the food you brought in your house, your schedule, like how often you went to the mall, you know, having to check in with somebody out of respect, you know, to let them know where that you're not coming straight home. I still have problems with that I have to work on. But just like, say if that is like, those are things that you do, because you would expect that from your man, or you'd be like, where is he, right? But as women, sometimes we even can become so used to being a single woman that it is a struggle for us to step into a marriage and all of a sudden have to check in, have to cook dinner. For some men, it is super important for them, for their wife to cook for them. You know, these are questions that you have got to have answered, because as the wife, when you step in, you need to know if this is the man that is for you, if you are going to be able to fulfill the things that are important for him, whether you see them as important or not. And as a single woman, and having been a single woman for a long time, those can be serious areas of contention, in areas where you are struggling because you have not had to do them. And why should you have to do them now? We need to be doing this together. And there are some men that are raised that way, but there are a lot of men that have been raised seriously old school, and you need to know which one you have, so you can decide if this is what you want to do. You can't just want marriage, right? And then not want what that looks like with that particular man, because there are sacrifices that you make when you become a married woman. So any questions or thoughts, please put them in the chat area. I want to hear what y'all's thoughts are. Talk to you soon.